Hi, I'm Russell from Amplify Automation. Today I'm showing you a voice AI receptionist that answers your business calls 24/7, books appointments, handles rescheduling, cancelling appointments, answers common questions, and never misses a call. If you're running your business from the field, you know the problem. Phone rings while you're busy with a customer, rings again during lunch, rings at 7 p.m. when you're having dinner with your family. Every missed call is a potential revenue lost, but hiring a full-time receptionist costs 55 grand a year. This AI agent costs $200 a month to run. It works around the clock. Let me show you how it works, and then I'll break down the complete build. But stick around because at the end I'll be sharing the prompts and workflows for free. So in this demo, I'm using Retell AI for the voice agent and N8N for the automated workflows. So let's dive in. So in today's demo, I'm going to be calling a fictitious electrical company called Acme Electrical. So let me give them a call.
Hi, this is Emma from Acme Electrical. How can I help you today?
Oh, hi Emma. I was wondering if you install pool lights.
Yes, we do install and replace pool lights for both new and existing pools, ensuring all fittings meet Queensland safety standards. Would you like to book a quote appointment for a pool light installation?
Yes, I would please.
Great. To get started with booking your quote appointment, may I have your full name, please?
Yes, it's Russell, Russell, Smith.
All right, so your name is Russell Smith, right? And
Correct.
can you please provide your phone number?
Sure.
What about your phone number?
0418 999 888.
Just double checking. Your phone number is 041 899 9888, right?
Yeah,
And your email address?
is
Can you please provide your email address and spell it out for me?
sure. It is russell.smith@gmail. So I'll spell it out. RUSSELL dot SMITH@gmail.com.
Let me confirm your email address. russell.smith@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. What date and time would you prefer for your pool light installation quote appointment?
Can we do this Friday at 10 a.m.?
Let me check our availability for Friday at 10 a.m. One moment, please. Checking availability for Friday at 10 a.m. Friday at 10 a.m. is available. I will book your appointment for the pool light installation quote then. Your appointment is confirmed for Friday at 10 a.m. You will receive a confirmation email with all the details. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, as you can see, that was the booking flow. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call back and I'm going to reschedule my appointment. Okay, I'm going to test rescheduling my booking. So I'm just going to call the agent again.
Hi, this is Emma from Acme Electrical. How can I help you today?
Oh, hi Emma, I'd like to reschedule my booking, please.
I can help with that. What is your email address so I can find your booking?
It's russell.smith@gmail.com.
Let me confirm. Your email address is russell.smith@gmail.com, right?
Yeah,
Could you please spell it out for me?
sure. Sure. RUSSELL dot SMITH@gmail.com.
All right, so you said R for Romeo, U for umbrella, S for Sarah, E for elephant, L for lemon, dot S for Sarah, M for man, I for ice, T for tango, H for hotel at gmail.com, right? Let me
Yes.
check your booking now. I found your booking. When would you like to reschedule it? Please provide a range of dates and times that work for you.
Could I do this Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. if possible?
Just to confirm, you want to reschedule your appointment for this Thursday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, correct? Could
Yes.
you please confirm your time zone as well?
I'm in Brisbane, Australia.
Checking availability for this Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. There is availability this Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Brisbane time. Would you like to book your appointment at 4 p.m. or another time within that range?
No, 4 p.m. please.
Just to confirm, you want to reschedule your appointment for Thursday, November 27th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Brisbane time, right? Your appointment has been rescheduled to Thursday, November 27th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Brisbane time. If you need anything else, just let us know.
Thank you. Bye. So I'm now going to demo cancelling my booking. So let me call the agent back again.
Hi, this is Emma from Acme Electrical. How can I help you today?
Hi, Emma. I want to cancel my booking if I could, please.
Help you with canceling your booking. To get started, may I have the email address you used for the appointment?
Yeah, it's russell.smith@gmail.com.
Just double checking. Your email is russell.smith@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
Let me check your booking details for cancellation. I found your upcoming booking. Could you please share the reason for canceling your appointment?
No longer interested.
All right. You are no longer interested in the appointment, right? Let me cancel that for you now. Your appointment has been cancelled successfully. If you need any further assistance, feel free to call us again. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye. So there you go. That's the agent in action, professional, natural, handles the complete booking and rescheduling and cancelling flow. And let me show you how it was built. So this is the agent in Retell AI. It's a multi-prompt agent, meaning it has different stages of different sections of the prompt for different goals or use cases that the agent needs to solve for. I'll explain those in a second. That's just down here. But I'll just go through the prompt first. So there's any sort of usual prompt that you configure with Retell. You set up the persona first. So as you heard on the call, the agent's name was Emma for a fictitious electrical company called Acme Electrical. And your primary goal is to book quote appointments. It's one of the main goals is obviously accurate data collection. So you can see she was very careful with collecting email addresses and phone numbers, which is what we wanted. So in here, with most agents that I build, you define the style and tone that you want the agent to have. This can be adjusted, but generally this is a good starting point for most agents. They're friendly and professional, they're clear and concise, and responsive, all these sort of things here as well. But it's really important, especially when they're collecting data as a receptionist, to make sure that they capture it correctly. So it's really important that the agent is collecting details correctly. So we have some definitions here around how to collect email addresses properly. So for @ say @ for the @ symbol, say dot for dot, and just also just some common domain names that you'll see, or email domains that you'll see. And then also, if they need spelling out words and things like that, you can see how they can repeat that back to you. Say A for Apple, B for Ben, just to confirm email addresses and names. And also phone numbers, keeping it more natural. By default, it will say something like the phone number is 4,671 922. I actually start to break that down into natural more phone numbers. So 971 509 874. So that's really important to make it sound a bit more natural. Guardrails here, it's very important to give it the time zone. If the user's sounding frustrated, being able to transfer, use one of Retell's inbuilt functions to transfer calls to external phone numbers. So that could be the business owner itself. Yeah, and then I think just other different sort of guardrails there. Objection handling is really important as well. So if this person says, "Are you AI?" you should be truthful, in my opinion. So yeah, be honest and say that you're an AI voice assistant, voice agent. I think fallback handling is really important here as well. So if there's technical difficulties, the agent knows how to respond. Or if it's not clear in terms of what they're asking, you can also offer to transfer the call to a human there as well. Or if it's outside of business scope, like booking a child's party or something like that, then they politely explain what their services are for. And also emergency details here as well. So if it's an emergency situation where obviously they should call 000 first, or 911, but also transferring to a person as well. So what I'll do now is I'll dig into the multi-prompt side of this. Okay, so essentially, as you saw in the call, the agent has three main tasks, which is book an appointment, reschedule appointment, or cancel appointment. It can also answer FAQs. I'll show you that in a second, but I'll just break down these different prompts. So you can see here the initial greeting. The main goal for this initial sub prompt is understanding the reason for the call. So where is it going to route the call to? What prompt here? So you can see here, how can I help you today? So wait for the user to respond. So the agent will wait. So based on the response, it will book a different. It will transfer to a different stage. So this is follow the flow. So book appointment if it determines that's what the caller wants to do. So we'll come into this node. So basically here, the job of the agent is to to break down and take the details of the person. So the first name, the last name, phone number, and email address. And you heard that on the call. So you can see here the prompt here is asking for the name. It's really important, asking for it to spell it out, get the phone number, and all the prompts from the kind of like the main prompt that I showed you before. All those instructions around handling emails and phone numbers come through to these sub prompts. So very important they collect the email address. So as you can see here, each of these prompts have their own tools defined and they can be different. So in here we're using some tools. So Retell has a native integration with cal.com. It's like Calendly, and you'll set up your calendar in cal.com and your availability, and it'll use that connection to check your availability. So you can see here, they've asked the user for the time they prefer. Then we use the check availability tool. So this will come in, link into your event and check your calendar. And if you have availability, it'll proceed to go and book that in your system as well. So it's in your calendar, sorry. So that's basically just the setup of that. So they come natively. You have to set them up, but they come natively with Retell. You can also set up Calendly, but you would need to set up a custom function basically here. So that's a custom function here. What we'll do now is we'll move on to the reschedule appointment. So as you can see here, users called, they come through the initial greeting and it's determined that the user wants to reschedule. So I'll come to this prompt here. Again, it's just good to remind the agent of the time zone. So basically what happens here is that the agents determine that it's a reschedule intent from the user. So we need to collect the email address because that's the key bit of information that we know that we can link to our calendar. So basically they'll search the calendar using a custom function that I've built here. So I'll run through this in the N8N workflow. But this is a custom function where we take the email address and then we send that to Retell to get the details of the booking. At the moment, Retell and Cal don't have that sort of capability built in, so you have to create your own workflows there. So once you have it returns a booking ID for that email address. And once you have that booking ID, you can call the native integration again with the ID to cal.com to check availability for being able to change the appointment. And then once the user has and the agent have decided a time to book to reschedule the appointment, again another custom endpoint is called in N8N that we've set up that I'll run you through, which reschedules the booking. So just moving on to the cancel appointment, very similar to the reschedule. Ask for the email address, goes out to a custom function to have a look, define same function as I defined in the reschedule, define the booking, have to get the booking ID. If the booking is not found, then just say, sorry, we can't find your upcoming booking, but then try to get them to book an appointment. So obviously they wanted to book and they thought they had a booking, so try and rebook them. If the booking was found, then we'll call the cancel appointment tool, which is this one right here. And this is again a custom function which takes a booking ID. You can see here, and also you heard it asked for the cancel reason. And I said I wasn't interested any longer, so it takes those details and sends them through to my N8N workflow that we've set up here. So I'll just come back to the main agent and just talk through some of the settings here. I definitely recommend at the moment ChatGPT 4.1 mini. 5.1 has just come out. I haven't tested 5.1, but I know ChatGPT 5 was a little bit slower. 4.1 mini was a pretty decent speed, but I always recommend going on the faster tier because it reduces the latency and makes the call sound more natural. I put a custom voice in here called Emily. It's an Australian female voice, but you can choose for many different kinds of accents here, British, Indian, American. Also, you can change how some of the voice settings, voice speed, if the agent's talking too slow. I do find they talk a little bit slow, so I speed it up from 1 a little bit. But you can experiment with those settings. And here you can define different languages. If you're in different countries, you can define that your agent speaks in French, or I'm in Australia, so it's English. Multilinguals are a really cool feature where the agent will understand the language being spoken and will adapt accordingly. So you could be in Australia, but your phone call, a person might pick up and speak in Spanish, and the agent will adapt to that. So that's a pretty cool feature. As I mentioned before, you have the end call functions and the transfer call. End call, basically you call that when you want to finish the call, you want the agent to hang up. And as I mentioned here, the transfer call, if there's an emergency situation or if the user is frustrated or is requesting to speak to a person, that'll do that. You can configure your number in there. Knowledge base, you can set up knowledge bases for your business, so common questions. There's another great aspect that these agents solve and stops those sort of questions coming through to your team about your opening hours or your services that you provide. You can easily answer those questions in a FAQ sort of question answer format. Speech settings, you have background noise if you like. I always keep this off. You can have a call center background and things like that, or a convention hall or a coffee shop. I like to keep those off, but it's up to you. What else do we have here? Call settings. Yeah, you can change different settings in here around voicemail detection, keypad input detection, things like that. I don't play with those too much. I keep them at their default. You can also set up webhook settings. So at the end of the call, it can send a summary of the call. So you can look back at that later and understand, what was said in the call is summarized by AI. I haven't done it in this one, but you could easily use that to get a summary of the call as well. Okay, now I'll show the end-to-end workflows that support that retail receptionist agent. So as I mentioned, there's a few custom functions here. There are essentially just three functions: find booking, cancel booking, and reschedule booking. So basically, find booking was needed each time to get an email address from the user, and then go to retail to find the booking ID for that user and return the booking ID. So that booking ID was used as a parameter to basically cancel and to reschedule. So I'll just go through this in a little bit more detail. So you can see here, this is the find booking. You'll essentially look to map an email address here. You can see it's looking for the email address, user email, and it'll send that on to retail. So you can see here it's got a URL, a get method to find bookings for that email address. It will actually bring back multiple bookings if you have them. In my scenario so far, I'm just taking the latest. You could definitely expand it out to be a bit more smart in a way. So I think you can see here, I'm just splitting out and formatting the data there, but sorting basically the created descending, but then the one item max item. So this is where you could probably do something a bit more clever, potentially turning back to the agent to say, hey, you've got multiple bookings, which one do you want to change? So that's an improvement there. And then it just responds to the webhook, to the agent with the booking ID, and that's the value there that it sends back. That's essentially the find booking. So for reschedule, it will take the booking ID as a parameter. You should be able to see that in here. So for the reschedule booking, you should be able to see the value coming in here. So under here, you have the booking ID that we got from the find booking workflow, and then the new booking time, which is the time that the users requested for the new appointment, or the rescheduled appointment. So do some formatting here, but essentially we call directly out to cal.com and we reschedule the booking here. So the important part here is just the start date and obviously the booking ID, which we put in the URL. And that'll go off, and that was success, a failure response, and then you can respond to that, to send that back to the agent so they can work out what to do. So here, status rescheduled 200 is a success response code. And here you've also got the opposite. So there was an error in trying to reschedule and a 400 response code. So the last flow to support that agent was the cancel booking. So very similar to the reschedule. It takes a booking ID. So if we come into here, so you've got the booking ID from the webhook, then also the cancel reason which you heard, and then we call API cal.com here to send through the booking ID, which is in the URL, so we get that the right booking cancelled. Then also put in the cancellation reason so that you can check as a business why something was cancelled. And then again, simple sort of understanding the response, whether success or error, same as the reschedule. So yeah, that's the workflows. As I said, I'll share these in the links below. Okay, so let's talk ROI. This is where it gets really interesting. So a full cost comparison. So a full-time receptionist is roughly in Australia 55k per year minimum, plus super, plus leave entitlements. All up, you're looking at about 65 to 70k. That receptionist works 38 hours per week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. This AI agent is $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Works 24/7, 365 days a year, never takes a sick day, never goes on holiday. So missed call revenue, the average electrical business receives 50 to 80 calls per week, let's say 60 calls. Without a dedicated person answering, you're missing 40 to 50% of those calls. That's 24 to 30 missed calls per week. Even if only 30% of those would have converted to jobs, that's 7 to 9 lost jobs per week. Average electrical job is $500 to $800, let's say 600. You're losing 4,200 to 5,400 per week in potential revenue. That's 218,000 to 280,000 per year in missed opportunities. This agent answers every single call, 0 misses, you capture all that revenue. So in regards to time saving, business owners spend about 10 to 15 hours per week on phone calls and appointment management. At a $100 hour billable rate, that's around $1,000 to $1,500 per week in lost productive time. This agent gives you those hours back. That's 52,000 to 78k per year in recovered billable time. And after hours, about 35% of electrical emergencies happen outside of business hours. Hot water systems fail at 9 p.m. Power goes out on a Sunday. Right now, those calls go to voicemail. The customer calls someone else who answers. This agent answers immediately and books emergency callouts. Emergency callouts are usually 300 to 500 just for the callout plus hourly rate. Even capturing 2 to 3 emergency jobs per month is an extra 1 to 1.5k in revenue. So here's the bottom line. It costs $2,400 a year versus $65,000 a year for a receptionist. It captures over $200,000 in previously missed call revenue, recovers about $50,000 a year in billable time, and adds about $12,000 in after-hours emergency revenue. So a total annual impact of around $260,000 plus for $2,400 worth of investment. That's 100 extra. So I'm showing the complete retail prompts and end-to-end workflows for both the base receptionist and all the sub-prompts for free in the description below. If you're technical, you could take these and set them up yourself. If you want this customized for your business and need help with implementation, book a free 30-minute discovery call with me. The link is also in the description below. In that call, we'll look at your current phone handling, calculate exactly how much revenue you're losing to missed calls, and map out how Voice AI can solve this for your business. No obligation, no sales pressure, just a genuine conversation about whether this makes sense for you. So thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more Voice AI tutorials and automation workflows. See you on the next one.